morning. It's Monday, September 23rd. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news, announcements, and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HCC's English and Communications, with my co-host this morning, Dr. Natalie Garza, one of our HCC history professors. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning, Amy. It's good to see you.
You too. Thanks for standing in for Dr. Cox today.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're happy to have you with us. Natalie, we are live on HCCTV whenever HCC is in session, but how can people find us?
We're live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and we are also on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Thanks so much. And we'll be right back with Dr. Garza, who will be interviewing our first guest. For Mental Health Month, one of our regular guests is discussing its event on youth mental health first aid. So we're happy to welcome Edith Duarte, MHFA coordinator from the Texana Center. Good morning, Edith.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm looking forward to speaking with you. I'm actually did the first aid training, the mental health first aid training. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what the work that you're doing.
Sure.
We'll be right with you. So first, Natalie is welcoming one of our HCC department chairs to launch Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we're happy to welcome Dr. Melinda Mejia. She's the chair for HCC World Languages, Humanities, and Library Science. Welcome back to the show, Melinda.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Nice to see you, Dean Tan.
Great to see you. And I'm going to pass it on to you and Dr. Garza.
Welcome back to the show, Melinda. Let's go ahead and jump right in with a definition of Hispanic Heritage Month. And can you tell all of us why it's important?
Yes, thank you. So Hispanic Heritage Month is a time reserved specifically to honor and celebrate the contributions of Latinx and Hispanic people in the U.S. It's a national month, like it's a national time of this recognition, meaning it is recognized in the entire U.S. and it's celebrated from September 15th to October 15th. And this time frame coincides with the independence days of many Latin American countries, including Chile, Honduras, El Salvador, and Mexico. And it was initially established as Hispanic Heritage Week in 1968, but later was expanded to be a month-long celebration by President Ronald Reagan in 1988. And of course, 1 month is not enough to celebrate all our wonderful contributions and the beauty of our culture and our ancestry, but it's great to have this particular time reserved so that we can reflect on that. And you'll see like cities come alive with a lot of programming and events related to Hispanic heritage. And it's a time to celebrate the arts, the contributions in the arts and science and technology that Latinx people have contributed to those fields. It highlights traditions and practices that we're already part of. But it's special, and we take them for granted, and not only we might take them for granted even as Hispanics, the other cultures might take it for granted. They're part of our lives, they're part of our city, they're part of how we function. So this time says, slow down, let's reflect on all of that and celebrate it. So it's important in that sense that it gives us the time to focus on and be proud of the things that our ancestors, for me, I'm speaking specifically, my ancestors in the Hispanic culture have brought, and to also think about, and I want to say this, to think about the future, how we can contribute in the future specifically for our community. This year, the theme of Hispanic Heritage Month, in fact, is Pioneers of Change, Shaping the Future Together. So I like that the theme allows us to reflect not just on what has happened in the past, but also what we can do and what our role is in shaping the future.
Yeah, thank you. And given that we're in Houston, we're fortunate to have so much diversity of Latino cultures, and there is a lot already going on. So that people, like you said, it's already ingrained, but being highlighted during this month. We've had parades already, and there's all kinds of events in Houston going on. You talked about your own ancestors. Can you share a little bit more about your cultural background and how it has informed your educational journey?
Absolutely. So I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, so that's in the border of Texas and Mexico, and my town was largely predominantly Hispanic, Mexican American specifically. And so I, lived with the culture. We watched our Mexican telenovelas. We listened to mariachi. We had mariachi in the high schools. We were taught. We spoke a lot of the people there are bilingual. My parents spoke only Spanish at home, and so a lot of it, like I said, was just part of me already, and it seemed separate from school. And even in that predominantly Hispanic area, classes are English, right? You read American literature. You don't read a lot of Chicano literature. Even in high school, I don't remember being exposed to it. So it seemed separate. My life at school seemed separate from my life at home. And I think to some extent, when I was younger, I understood that as, well, to be academically inclined is different. It doesn't, it's not about me or my culture. So I felt like I had to do like a switch. But the more I learned and the more I read and the more that I was exposed to, programming like this, events like this, messaging like this, that says, no, there's a lot of actual contributions of inventions in science, again, in literature, that our people have also participated in. The more I realized that the two were not separate. And that to me was very important. Because I think it's very important as well to translate that to our students, that our lives at home and our experiences are not separate from our academic journey. And for me, it took a little figuring out. And so that's very important that I am able to work with our students to figure that out as they're doing their educational journey.
Yeah, I think I had similar experiences to you, and that I never even knew that there was such a thing as like Mexican American history until I went to college. And now that's, kind of my focus. And so we're fortunate at HCC because we offer courses that give students the opportunity to learn about Latino culture and kind of maybe expose our students the same way you and I were exposed. Can you tell us about those courses?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So in multiple departments, and specifically, I'm thinking, yes, history and humanities, and as well as English, we have courses that focus on the Latinx experience. We have Mexican American literature in English, but in the humanities, where I'm from, where I'm leading, we have classes in Mexican American studies. That's a Humanities 1305, which is a Mexican American Studies course. And depending on who's teaching it, the approach might be led with history. The approach might be led through literature and the arts, through music. And we do a little bit of all of those things in those classes. And that's Mexican American Studies, HUMA 1305. We also have the Mexican American Fine Arts, which is HUMA 1311, and that focuses more just on the fine arts and the performing arts. And we have a HUMA 2319, which, depending again on the special topic or the instructor, will focus on multiple cultures, but often has Mexican American culture involved in that class as well.
Can you tell me, I know a little, we work together, so I know a little bit about your background. And I think you're great to be the chair of humanities because you have all of these experiences with music and arts, and then you're also English faculty. So can you talk a little bit about who some of your Latinx heroes are?
Absolutely. Okay, so since you mentioned music, I was a performing musician for a long time. I've not been performing too much now, but I love writing songs, playing the guitar. And so I'll start with my musician hero, who is Lila Downs. And Lila Downs is actually from Oaxaca. Where my mother's from Oaxaca, so she's very special to me for that reason. And she lives in LA and has been a performing artist in the United States for quite a while. And she's one of my heroes because she highlights social issues in her music, including like border politics, including issues with poverty, but also highlights the culture in beautiful ways. She has a Cumbia del Chile, all about how we like to eat hot stuff like chiles, different chiles. She has another song about mole. And so just beautiful music, very talented woman who highlights the sounds of Mexican music, but also the culture in different ways. And my other heroes include two women who are kind of related. Dr. Helen Rodriguez Trias, who was a pioneer in medicine and social justice. She was Puerto Riqueña and fought for women's reproductive rights in the 70s and was the founding member of the Women's Caucus of the American Public Health Association. And my last one I'll say is Leonor Villegas de Magnon, who was a nurse during the Mexican Revolution, who was working on this. She was on this side of the border, living in Laredo, Texas, and she got together a group of women to help be nurses during the Mexican Revolution and aid the soldiers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing about your personal experiences and also the importance of Hispanic Heritage Month and how that translates for the courses we have available to our students. We also, all of those courses can go towards the Mexican American Latino Studies Institutional Certificate. And we will have all of that information in our post after the show. Thank you, Dr. Melinda Mejia, Chair of HCC's World Languages, Humanities, and Library Science. Up next, after a commercial break, Amy will visit with our Mental Health Monday guest about teen and youth issues.
Thank you.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
We're back with Edith Duarte, MHFA coordinator for the Texana Center. Welcome to the show, Edith.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to hear all the the excellent information that you have to share with us. Before we get into the specific topic of youth and their mental health issues, tell us a little bit about the Texana Center.
Yeah, so Texana Center has been around since 1999, and Texana Center has been recognized as the expert for mental health, autism, and developmental disability services throughout Fort Bend, Austin, Colorado, Matagorda, Waller, and Wharton counties. We have an evidence-based and trauma-informed approach which supports individuals and families with a wide variety of mental health services. We are a nonprofit, and we're committed to helping 16,000 people annually with a highly trained and dynamic team of over 800 staff members. Our caring staff provides assessment, treatment, and coordination to help children and adults navigate life with clarity.
That's wonderful. What wonderful services and really bringing together, the emphasis on autism and developmental disabilities, because we don't always link that with mental health. And I just have to throw out a plug here. If anybody wants to do a 5K to support autism in November, there's one coming up November 2nd here in Houston. What exactly is MHFA and what does it stand for as an acronym?
Yeah, so MHFA stands for Mental Health First Aid. And Mental Health First Aid is a course that teaches you how to help someone who's developing a mental health problem or experiencing a mental health crisis. The training helps you identify, understand, and respond to signs and symptoms of a mental health challenge Similar to first aid, it equips learners with action steps to be able to assist until the appropriate professional help can intervene. So we're not diagnosing, we're not, performing surgery right then or anything like that. And the course also provides information on depression, anxiety, trauma, psychosis, and addiction disorders. And where to turn to for help, we provide professional, peer, and self-help resources.
It's an excellent course. I mean, I completed it. I have the certificate, and I found the information to be incredibly helpful, especially in my role working at a community college. But I think, anybody can benefit from this course, because, if we're going to prevent, if we're going to support people who need support for mental health issues and concerns, depression, we all have to be educated on what to do when you're confronted with someone suffering in that moment. So how do you get access to this class? How do you deliver mental health first aid?
Yeah, so Texana, as the local mental health authority, can deliver this course for free to Fort Bend, Austin, Colorado, Matagorda, Waller, and Wharton counties. We have two curriculums: adults assisting other adults and adults assisting youth, which are children and adolescents ages 12 to 18. We can provide it through an 8-hour in-person class, or through a blended version, which involves 2 hours of self-paced online course. And then we meet for the remaining 4 to 6 hours through Zoom or in person. As long as there's 5 to 30 participants, we can host a class and we can come to you.
It's a wonderful service. And as I said, I really benefited from the course, and I'm really pleased that HCC has been able to partner with you and to offer courses in mental health first aid. Tell us more about your public class.
Yes, so we will be hosting a youth mental health first aid class open to the public, completely free, at our administrative offices here at Texana. We're located at 2330 Graber Road. We're in Rosenberg, Texas, 77471. And it's this coming Monday, September 30th from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. All participants will receive a certificate upon completion, really similar to CPR, and that is valid for up to 3 years. And we do have continuing education credits available upon request through this class.
So I'm sure, because you have two different courses, you have the MHFA and then you have the YMHFA, which is it's targeted for people who work with youth. So tell us, who should sign up for the youth mental health first aid?
Yeah, so statistics tells us that 50% of all mental illnesses will begin by the age of 14, and 75% of them by mid-20s. Also, 1 in 5 youth live with a mental health condition, and so we're seeing that mental health challenges are more and more common. And so it's important that teachers, school staff, coaches, camp counselors, youth group leaders, parents, or just any adult who works or interacts with a young person knows how to help someone experiencing a mental health challenge. And then research indicates that 72% of youth mental health first aid participants reported using mental health first aid practices within 12 months of training.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, like I said, I benefited. I still have the acronym in my head. I try to go back and look at it just to review it. And certainly, again, it is now, I think it's Suicide Awareness Month, September is, and this kind of training can help prevent suicide, and make sure that we're all helping people when they need that support and we know what to do in that moment. Where can people go for more information?
Yeah, if they're interested in hosting a class, in signing up for the public class, or just more information, they can reach out to me. I'm Edith Duarte. I can be reached at edith.duarte@texanacenter.com, or give me a call. I'm at 832-947-5622. And as you mentioned, it is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And so a little fun fact is that if you call 988, us as the local mental health authority in all the counties that I just mentioned, we are the ones that have a mobile crisis outreach unit that can go out and assist somebody who's experiencing a mental health challenge. And so if they reach out to us directly, they kind of skip that extra step of having to call 988 directly.
Yeah, that is very helpful. Can program that into my phone, but it is also easy to remember 988 when you're in this situation. Well, thank you so much, Edith Duarte. This has been incredible information to share with our viewers, and we really appreciate your service and your taking the time to come and speak with us today.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
So thank you again, Edith Duarte, MHFA Coordinator for the Texana Center. We'll have all the information in the post after the show. Coming up after a quick commercial break, Natalie and I will return with some news and announcements.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
And we're back with our first announcement, HCC Eagle Promise. Some can earn their degree for free. This is a wonderful program that HCC has implemented in the past few years. Qualifying students with a high school diploma can earn their degree for free through the Eagle Promise program. Students are encouraged to check their eligibility. The deadline to apply for this program is September 30th, so be sure to check our post after the show for more information. And Natalie, fall training is upon all of us.
I know this is a reminder to myself as much as anybody else. By law, HCC requires annual mandatory training for all faculty and staff to provide the basic governing principles of the policies or laws for HCC. Most training modules take about 30 minutes to complete and provide critical information related to your responsibilities and obligations. The first round of training is due by the end of this month, September 30th. See our post after the show for Precipio site register for your training.
Yeah, make sure you get it done. It is mandatory, which means required right. Sometimes, and you don't want to be on anybody's list.
Right.
So National Night Out is coming up. Join HCC Police and community for that big night. HCC's police department welcomes faculty, staff, and students to join its National Night Out to make our communities safer and more caring. This year, it's going to be at West Houston Institute from 4 to 8 p.m. That's Tuesday, October 1st. Check the post after the show for more information and come out. It's such a big event. They have giveaways, there's music, they have food. It's so much fun. And for our next announcement, Dr. Garza, I believe you are an alum of the Innovation Grant. Tell us about that.
Yes, the innovation grants are available. This is HCC's Foundation and Chancellor's Office have built on the endowed chairs for teaching and learning initiatives to establish HCC's annual innovation grants. Applications are now open for up to 5 faculty and student support staff to receive up to $5,000 to implement their plans. They will also be designated as distinguished educators. The deadline, the applications went out over email, and the deadline for nominations is 5 p.m. Friday, October 18th. I did receive this grant, and it was really helpful in launching a project that I was interested in for a long time and still kind of building on. So it's really great. Check our post after the show for more info after the selection process.
Yeah, and these are designed to create innovation and also to sustain it. So it's wonderful to hear that yours is still ongoing.
Yeah.
So help equals soar. I love HCC. HCC Chancellor Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher is asking for donations to the annual faculty and staff employee giving campaign, saying all donations make a difference, any level, any amount, and help HCC students and programs. Plus, donors may be able to increase their payroll deduct and win an all-new I Love HCC zippered tote bag. Other giveaways across the campaign are also available. So make your donation today. Look for those opportunities on your campuses. Be sure to check the post after the show for more information. And you can still sign up for F8B classes.
Yes, fall registration continues. We, like you said, have F8B classes. HCC's courses are offered in a range of modalities. Even if in F8B, you can do online anytime on a schedule, hybrid, in-person, hybrid lab. To learn more about HCC's programs, start dates and options, cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Yes. And I know that we are paying attention to the campuses and schedules, and as department chairs, we're making sure that there are options available. So if you want to take a class on campus, that is still an option. Those 8-week classes, they can be intense, but they can also help you achieve your goals in finishing 12 hours in one semester. So be sure to check those opportunities out. Natalie, Dr. Garza, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you.
And coming up for Tasty Tuesday, we welcome back Mapo Korean Barbecue in the Heights to discuss its new menu. Too bad they can't bring in some samples for us. And later, we'll launch the Employee Recognition Awards ceremony with the return of Vice Chancellor Dr. Norma Perez. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.